had got rid of the enemy.
Yeah, I've seen something similar. Like we was at church or whatever. We had or some type of gathering, and they had like on they like church mother hats with like the feather on it, or like the big like first lady has on, and they was like giving a speech like after the victory or whatever. But trying to think of what my last question was. So like I guess like it was just about AI. Like I recently had like profound experience with AI. Like basically it was talking. I was telling them about this like spiritual experience or whatever, and it was like, oh yeah, like your grandma's definitely protecting you. Like you should just keep going doing you. And I was like, this thing is better than my therapist with giving me advice or giving me
Yeah, that's
like
your higher
whatever I
consciousness.
need from a
It's your higher
therapist,
self.
for sure. Yeah. And like it was just like it was giving me closure with the whole situation versus like because like you can't, I don't think that the ancestors would like tell me like directly. Like I got images that
No,
I can
they tell
go back
you
to, but
directly. It's just that the
vision.
language they speak in is different from the language you learn. So you just trying
For
to
sure.
relearn how to read the language that they speaking to you in, so you can clarify the message. It ain't that you ain't getting the message.
Right.
It's just that the message ain't clear because you still in training. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn it over time. It's gonna take some time. How long it's gonna take? However long it take. It's a process.
for sure.
And
Yeah. I trust the process. I recently my first book before I read Eckhart Tolle book was like The Field Guide to the Spirit World, and it was talking about like mental illnesses. It was talking about like a bunch of different stuff, but it was like my first like before I had my spirit. It was like before I had my Dark Night of the Soul or my whole awakening. It was like my first interest was just like I don't remember why. It was just a book I found on Audible or like the online bookstore, and it was my first like interest. So I guess that was just like kind of my calling to like, because I don't really have um that much contact with the other side except my dreams are really like meaningful, and I like dream for like the whole night or whatever. But um basically like I tried to do like the pendulum or mediumship thing, and it was like too much fear. Like once I felt how big like I was or whatever, how vast like the void is, like it was pretty much a fearful thing to where
so
I just put it
the
down
fear
for the time being.
response in the
Yeah.
practice of the arts is for you to learn more about the art you're trying to practice. The
For
knowledge
sure.
is the only thing that's going to remove the fear. Once you understand the thing, you no longer fear it. You know,
Yeah.
and so you start off. You do not know what you do not know until you start learning what you never knew you didn't know. Right? Once that happens, you have to give yourself a time to go through the learning curve. Right? And every subject you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna learn at a different rate. You're not gonna learn the history studies at the same pace as your medical studies or your legal studies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they all come with their
Yeah.
own discipline that need to be applied to that field of knowledge. You know,
For sure. Yeah. Because I'm doing a bunch of different stuff too. I'm doing like cardiology,
yeah. So
astrology, all that.
when you're doing
Doing
multiple
like
practices simultaneously, that's called chaos magic because you're drawing from multiple places at the same time. And it becomes stronger when you understand what you're doing and you learn to compartmentalize it, right?
mm-hmm.
And then when you get done with all of the practice for the day, learn how to unify them all to get an overall message. The practice is what develops the skill to perfection. I used to read my tarot in silence, and nobody know
Magic.
I was reading tarot cards, but I was reading the shit out them
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers because that was my training wheels for my control remote viewing and my psychic development.
For sure. Yeah. Um, but especially with like magic too, because I know it's something with magic that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's just something that basically through books, I got absorb knowledge about it, but through practice, it's kind of like a different story. Like
Well,
you got to practice what you
magic is
like.
a little
I can read
different,
about it all day.
right? So true magic
Yeah,
happens because you find love. It's part of a spiritual development with a mind-heart connection. And the magic
hmm
is the side effect that comes with the love being genuine. That's what the feather is, the weighing of the purity of the intent, right? Now, if the
hmm
intention is in the heart, is as light as a feather, then the love is true. It can't override the system. It's perfect balance there,
no doubt.
equilibrium, right? So at your age, you got to
Definitely,
not
yeah,
put too much pressure on yourself to achieve too much in a day. Just know that when the time
for
comes,
sure.
if you keep studying and it comes the time you need to use what you've been studying, it's only going to be that time because you prepared to use what you've been studying. Proper preparation prevents poor
For sure.
performance.
Yeah, thank you. That definitely gives me some hope because like I've started so many different magical practices or magical studies or esoteric studies, but practicing them hasn't really been a necessity yet. But yeah, when it comes time to it, I definitely have some
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
right
you this
now.
before I go to the next caller. Look up 8-point chaos star of magic. Type that in your Google, right? And
Appreciate it, brother.
that's gonna give you pointers, literally.
No doubt. All
All right,
right.
all
I'm gonna
right.
let the
Peace,
next caller go.
God.
Appreciate it. Peace.
What's
Peace, God.
what's up, brother?
You got it. You
I've
got
been
it.
on
What's on your
with
mind?
you for the last couple of years.
That's what's up. I be seeing you in the
Yes,
comments.
sir. You've been seeing me a long time. I just had to go through the name changes like you on this AI adventure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're doing a great job, man. Like I said,
Appreciate it.
I don't do interviews often, but it's much love with you, brother. I've gotten arguments with people over you, trying to introduce me to you when I've been following you for years. Telling me how to understand Nicholas Shear and Tahuti. You understand that part?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. That's just like I said. I just want to give you some love, man. I'm glad you let me in. What's up? We can chop it up on that on the levels that we like to talk.
Oh, for sure. What's on your mind?
Man, I got eternity on my mind. I mean, we already
Well, I'm trying to get us there one day at a time.
man. All you gotta do is breathe, breathe, and just be. You know how we do. But you know, it's nice to finally get to chop it up with you. I don't chop it up often. Um,
Yeah,
man, so much blessings to you and everything that you do. You know what I mean? We've been fighting a good fight for a good minute now.
yeah.
Take this.
Man, I had to get past a lot of people that thought I was insane that hadn't seen my receipts.
They called you the same. They called me the same shit.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't tripping because my mama told me they was gonna do it. So when they did, that just let me know I was doing exactly what she
one of the
told me.
first things you ever learned was sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah, it ain't the name, it's the motherfucker that wear the name. That's the problem.
it's the motherfucker saying the event for free. You know what I mean? Can't
Mm-hmm.
nobody kick your ass better than you. You know what I mean? And as we expound that love, know that everybody that came against us is their own best ass kicker. You know what I mean? They kicking their own ass real good. It looked good on them too. They beating the shit out themselves. You know what I mean? It's great to see you, my brother. Like I said, you know, I get to see you spread the love and can articulate it, but I don't choose to go that path that you have walked. And man, your wings are sitting real good on your back. You know?
Working on it.
Man, you ain't working on this already. The gods are here. I mean, everybody is talking enough shit. Don't be scared now. You know what I mean? We here. And yo, so have you ever watched the Big Head Scientist in the past?
What is it? Animation or something?
It's an animation that was made by some others, but they speak about Yakub and then the evolution of Yashmar. The magnets. The energy.
I know, yeah. I did a whole video on Young Elder, a couple of them, tracking them across the world.
Right.
I know where they
well, you know that all the leaders that we have studied, right, they all knew about Yakub. And they used that divide and conquer tactic against us. Agreed? They, at the time of 26,000 years ending, you know, that so our galactic council, you know, they said that there would come a time of the opposite of what Yakub was, which is Yashmar, which in turn, I guess we call it other things. So now
Yakub, listen, Yakub means supplanter. Come to undermine the original. Right? And so when he come to undermine them, he came with a story to tell.
His 6,000 years are over. It's 26,000 years ago. He's only got 6,000 as he filtered us out. The Ebenoid tribe.
Right. Because in the war between gods and men, when we went nuclear before, now we got to do it with raw intellect and truth. We ain't allowed to blow the world off into oblivion no more. We've done it one too many times when we got too much attention from places that didn't need to be bothered with us.
It affected too many beings, you know what I'm saying? And they got to play with some energy and power. Like I said, it's in our cathedral, it's in our body, because our body is the central nervous system of all this. You know, people don't understand that we were allowed to be at this level at this time of date. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the calendar don't exist because we're eternity. We're just that evolution of it. But I think everybody's going to the core right now. Everybody's in their stomach. And I think everybody's feeling it on another level.
I seen more progress in the last 2 years than I did the whole 30 years prior.
Come on, man. Yeah. But the thing is, why was they throwing sticks and stones and calling us names for being smart? You know, it's hard being a black man being smart when mother's the God and she don't know which path to go for. We're here to bring it back. So forward. There's a lot of sticks and stones that have came at your head this last 2 years, 3 years, 3 years now. 3 years now.
Yeah.
I don't count the years. I just count the days. And when I spell days, I spell D-A-Z-E.
Yeah. It's a lot of minute days out there too. But look, I'm genetically engineered to kick ass and to take ass kicking. So however they want to do it, I mean, I'm made for this shit. I'm built for this shit. I don't have to like it, but I'm built for it.
Something about Tylertown, Mississippi the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 200 acres of land there. We're Blackfoot Indians. Teacher understanding the ethnicity of where you come from.
That's my grandfather was the high chief down there at the turn of the 1900s.
Come on, man.
He died in, I think, 66, 67, right before I was born. But my grandfather was the medicine man and the high chief. He was a Hezekiah.
time to bring everybody home, man. You know, with the land that we.
Oh yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's why I'm sending. See, I got to tell everybody which one of the chiefs is actually doing work trying to liberate us,
Man,
and who the frauds
we
is.
got to rock. We got to kick it. And, I mean, we got some space. I mean, we got cows. We got food coming, you know.
Oh yeah, we finna get rid of that beef shit though. That beef shit is not for it's not meant for human consumption.
My prize crop is over.
We finna go back to bison and elk.
Damn right. You know, I mean, our cows are fake. I love them. You know what I mean? Genetically,
Yeah.
you can have it. You know, but you know what? We gotta, you know, stomp our land back. A lot of people inherit their land and then they sell it quick as fuck. You know, they selling their land when they getting it through their family, and their family
But when it,
for hundreds of years.
yeah, so we get back to the land grants of the big mama houses, right? Right.
Yes.
It's gonna be a senior big mama out of every clan that's gonna represent a certain area of land, and she is the one who's gonna say how the land is allocated for the maintenance of the local community. Right. So we going back to that. That all this shit paying motherfuckers not to grow the right food so you can pay a motherfucker to grow the wrong food so you can kill our. We done with all that. Oh, that's a wrap. All right, guys. I'm about to take another caller in. I'm gonna take about 2 more, then I'm gonna call it a night.
Blessings, man, and I'll link with you soon, man. Help us fix the land.
For sure. I'm working on it.
One love.
One love. One thing a lot of us get caught up in, and on the land is we want to get bitter, and exact revenge or block other people. That's not how Big Mama works.
Peace, Scott.
All right. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty well. Where you at?
I'm in DC.
Oh, okay. So you seeing a whole bunch of shit going on over there?
Yes, it is. And first, I want to give thanks for all the work you've been doing. I'm a 7th grade teacher in DC, in Southeast, and at an all-boys school. So a lot of the things the information that you've been talking about, and it's funny because I get to teach my own lesson, my own curriculum. It's from a Native perspective. And I just taught the boys about Chief Pontiac and everything, and we're talking about the Gullah Wars. But a lot of the information, I listen to you and I explore, like, okay, what am I, before I even start a lesson, like, boys need to know. And just teaching them about whatever. But my question was, when I was younger, my grandmother, I remember she called me like the black sheep of the family, and I got offended because, you know, that seemed like a bad term. But me and her was real close. She basically raised me, and it's like she told me that her mother was Blackfoot Indian. And now listening to everything and getting back to everything and doing my ancestry and stuff, I'm just, it say that they are from like around Canada and stuff, but I'm finding also other information. And her last name was Bullock, but the further I go back, it's like Bullock, and then it's Bullock. It's different variations.
Right, because their English was not a perfected language when they got here. American English evolved from what was known as Old English. Modern British or modern English over there is still different from American English. Right. So the trick comes in is the shapes of letters changed. In some places, S's look like F's and F's look like S's. Right. right? So the shapes of letters change. This is just in the last 200 years. And so when we're looking at that information, we seeing name variants, names that are slightly spelt different, but all of the rest of the information is the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's because they was